remember, but I'll show it to you really quick. So what I want you to do, girls, listen. Remember we have to come up here. Girls, only move your seats this way. Boys, not your seats that way. Does that make sense? And then the last thing, let me show you. I have your speeches up here, if that's easier for you. Okay. Boys, this is how we get a speech, and that's really
That's not embarrassing. Like half her class.
Beautiful. Thank you, sir.
You're also doing the well, then my students in a vote.
I think she might keep it in her office. I've seen her hand it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah. So they should just bring their prayer book?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you'll just bring your Sidor up for the Kiddush too?
Yeah.
I think the rabbi has something.
Let me go. Good. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening to welcome in another Shabbat here at Temple Har Shalom. We have some incredible guests with us this evening, members of our 6th grade class who are going to be speaking to us about none other than the history of Jews in America. which I know to some people might sound like a college 101 course, but I know our sixth graders have put a lot of time and effort and energy into giving us these thoughtful sound bites about what the history of Jews in America really looks like. And in fact, we couldn't think of a more apropos time to be investigating, to be thinking about the history of Jewish immigration to this country in the midst of what we are seeing happening nationwide. We are at a surge yet again of another generational amount of anti-Semitism in this world. One need to look no further than the college campuses within driving distance from where we are standing today, including our neighbors a mere 20 minutes away at Rutgers University, who are waking up day to day unsure about what their lives hold, what their Jewishness holds for them, how they'll be accepted in the communities for which they thought were home for them. So the fact that our sixth graders can come to us tonight and share with us the piece of the puzzle that we have, the piece of American Jewish history that is so meaningful to us, is truly exceptional. We are also here to celebrate a simcha, the first of many this spring, ringing in this beautiful spring year, and so we are so excited to celebrate Natalie's bat mitzvah tomorrow morning with her family here this evening, who will lead us in various points of our service as she prepares for her incredible day tomorrow. And finally, it is the season, as I was saying before, of the Yoms. All of those holidays, those modern creations that have existed since the establishment of Israel in 1948. We have Yom HaAtzmaut that we are celebrating next Friday, Israeli Independence Day. That is preceded by Yom HaZikaron, the day of remembrance for all those fallen soldiers. We will have Yom Yerushalayim, the day that Jerusalem was reunited. But all of the Yoms, in fact, begin this weekend, and we are celebrating this evening Yom HaShoah, the Holocaust Day of Remembrance. As I was explaining before, there are actually 2 days that we think about the Holocaust on our calendar. The first is a secular International Holocaust Remembrance Day, but the one that speaks closer to the Jewish community is tonight, is Yom HaShoah, the day, as you will see videos in the coming days, where Israel will ring its air raid sirens countrywide, where everyone will stop no matter what they are doing, from their normal job, from walking down the street, from driving their cars in the middle of the highway. You will see them pull to the side, step out, and stand at attention as we remember the 6 million of our friends, our family, our loved ones, our ancestors on whose shoulders we stand today that perished in the Holocaust. So we will commemorate that later on this evening, but of course, we do not start any service here at Har Shalom without some sort of song, and I know our sixth graders are going to be leading us in quite a few of them this evening, so I would like to invite our sixth graders up to their spots. As we sing the words of Hine Ma Tov, how wonderful it is that we get the chance to be together on this Shabbat, how wonderful that we get to celebrate with Natalie and her family, how wonderful that we get to celebrate and learn from our sixth graders. And of course, we are joined this evening on our bima by Kylie Rapp, our incredible song leader, and John Bowen, our incredible accompanist on the piano. So we invite you to sing along with us this evening. It always sounds way better than just us singing. So please join us. Sixth graders, ready? Hine ma tov u'manai, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manai, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. As you can see, our bima is adorned with many different candles this evening, some that we will talk about in a few moments, but the two tallest candles on our bima are to begin the holiday of Shabbat each and every week. And to help us light those Shabbat candles, it is an honor to call up Natalie Davidoff and her family, Liza and Toma, Rebecca and Ben, to join us for the lighting of the candles and for our Kiddush. And sixth graders, I know you're going to serve as our backup chorus this evening, so thank you in advance for all of your help. We are going to be in our Siddur this evening, that blue book sitting right in front of the pews, and we are beginning on page 120 for anyone that wants to follow along with us with the lighting of our candles. Absolutely, go for it. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzeivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat. And Natalie, I'm going to have you pick up that glass of delicious grape juice right there. And we're going to join together on page 123 as Natalie leads us in the Kiddush. What do you want your dad to hold? So you can follow. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu.
V'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hiniman, zikaron ma'aseh b'reishit, kilu yom tehila l'minchai kodesh, zecher Tzion
Mitzrayim, ki banu v'charta, v'yatanu kiddashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'yahava u'ratzon, chincha lanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechadesh HaShabbat. Amen. Amen. L'chaim. Great job. Yeah. Mazel tov. Anyone else want to tip? You'll save it for the Onig. It's fine. Thank you guys so much. Yeah. We're going to continue on page 138 with the singing of Lecha Dodi. Those that have joined us on Friday evenings before know that I always say that it is not just a blessing, it is not just a part of our liturgy, it is a poem written by the mystics of Sfat, that city in the north of Israel, the city that is rooted in Kabbalah and the mystic nature of Shabbat itself, and they couldn't even put into words the feeling of what it meant when the sun was coming down through those Judean hills, and instead they put it to the words of Lecha Dodi. So we invite you to sing along with us. We are going to sing verses 1, 2, and verse 9 this evening. Again, page 138. Lecha lecha dodi, lecha lecha kala, v'nei Shabbat v'kabela. Lecha lecha dodi, lecha lecha kala, v'nei Shabbat v'kabela. La 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 lecha dodi, lecha lecha kala, v'nei Shabbat v'kabela. Lecha lecha dodi, lecha lecha kala, v'nei Shabbat v'kabela. Shmor v'zachor b'diבור echad, ishmi'anu elech Adonai, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, Shem u'tiferet v'til נאהוב ונכלה, איבן כל הברכה, בראש מקדם נסוכה, סופה עשה ממחת מילה, לה 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 לקה לקה קלה, בני שבת לקבלה, לקה לקה אותי, לקה לקה קלה, בני שבת לקבלה. It was at that point on the beginning of the 9th verse when we said, Bo'i Kala, enter the bride of Shabbat. So with that, we all rise, we face the doors, and we get ready to welcome in the Sabbath bride. ובשלום אתם לבנה, גם בשמחה וטהורה, תוך אימוני סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה, לך לך דודי, לך לך כלה, בני שבת לקבלה, לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה, לה 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 לקראת לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה, לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה. And we remain standing for the beginning of our prayer service, our call to worship, the Baruch. You can join us on page 146. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works, in the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. We continue on page 152 with the singing of Shema.
Shema Yisrael
seated. I was talking to a family this week who were in our building who were not Jewish, and as I was getting ready to walk them around the building, he said to me, I don't want to sound uncouth and I don't want to sound awkward, but can you tell me what these things are on the doors? What are those things on the doors, sixth graders? Thank you. Mezuzahs, exactly right, not a trick question. And I said, oh, those are a mezuzah. And he started asking questions. What are they? Why are they there? And they are there because of the words that we read on page 154, the words that we are going to invite Natalie up to help us chant, the words that come from the Torah itself, that give us certain commandments, including to putting them on the doorposts of our house. And that itself, that one line of text, is where the whole idea of having a mezuzah on our door comes from. So to help us understand that a little bit more, we're going to have Natalie come up here and chant the words for us. You can follow along on page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצאתך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך ושרתם לאור עבדיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Amen. Yasher koach. Thank you so much. With that, as we learn about a set of commandments we are to follow. Hey, good today. I mean, unless you want to take over, you're welcome to run the show. With that, it makes perfect sense for us to link not just the mitzvot we were commanded for in the Torah, but to learn how we enact those mitzvot here in the United States. And so it is my pleasure to call on the first of our sixth grade speakers to teach us a little about history of Jews in America. And with our first part of the presentation, it is my honor to welcome up Sarah to the bima.
In the same year, Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492, discovering the New World, or at least the island of Hispaniola. Jews were expelled from Spain. Other states like Portugal, France, and Holland soon joined Spain in ridding themselves of their Jewry. Although the Jewish people did not yet have a state in the Middle East to call home, a new world of opportunity beckoned them ashore. These pioneers, seeking the same freedom from persecution as their Puritan pilgrim neighbors to the north, came for one reason: religious freedom, or at least religious tolerance. Jewish colonials made the city of Charleston, South Carolina, into the epic center of Jewish life in America. For the first time, Jewish colonials are allowed to fight in the Revolution after being denied in the French and Indian Wars. Leaders like Chaim Solomon helped finance the American Revolution, and great patriots like Israel Bissell, aka the Jewish Paul Revere, were all instrumental in America's victory over British rule. 25,000 Jewish people live up and down the colonies, with more coming every year. President George Washington writes to the Taru Synagogue in 1890, "For happily the government of the United States gives to bigotry no sanction, to the persecution no assistance, requires only that they who live under its protection should demand themselves as good citizens in giving it on all occasions their effectual support.
Tasha Koch. Very good. Wait 1 second. No one leaves after giving us a lecture from the Bima without a little bit of sweetness on their lips. Hopefully you left us with the same amount of sweetness in our minds this evening as well, things to think about. So with that, we have this wonderful, not just any Hershey's chocolate bar, but with superheroes on it, because it is a superhero to come up on a Friday night and teach us about Jewish history. So Yasher Koach, may all of your teaching ever be as sweet as that. And as Sarah taught us, in fact, the Torah Synagogue, the oldest synagogue here in the United States, up in Rhode Island, it is a magnificent place. If you've never been, they give tours of it. Every year on the anniversary of George Washington giving that address, this was not just a Jewish address, this was George Washington's statement to the entire world about religious freedom, given from the Bima in Torah Synagogue, given via a letter and read from the Bima in Torah Synagogue. Each and every year on the anniversary, the estate of George Washington sends a representative, and they read that letter symbolically from the Bima of Torah Synagogue. So all wonderful opportunities. If you ever get a chance to visit Rhode Island, definitely stop by. We continue on page 157, and I would ask you to please read responsibly after me. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. Together, the high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and time again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Continue on page 158 with those words that we just memorialized 2 weeks ago at our Pesach Seders, the words that the Israelites sang as they marched to freedom through the Sea of Reeds, the words on page 158 of Mi Chamocha. And our next in our distinguished speaker series, it is my pleasure to call up our second group of sixth graders, to call up Fiona and Sydney to join us on the Bima.
(1880) Jewish life in America, assimilation. Jewish America, can't we just assimilate like everyone else? After the Civil War, America welcomed new immigrants all over the world to help in the emerging Industrial Revolution. Jewish people fleeing persecution, pogroms, and intolerance board steamships in hopes of a better life. Urban life disrupts agrarian lifestyles, and Jewish people moved to the city. Westward expansion continues, and entrepreneurs like Levi Strauss invent denim fabric, helping miners and others dress casually for generations. Jewish people have not yet become a staple of American life, but they seek to join the masses and become a generic American. This desire to fit in, called assimilation, is often thwarted with laws restricting Jewish businesses and Jewish daily life.
While there is still no electricity, Wi-Fi, or international communication, soon many solutions for modern living will help ease our daily workload and help us find more time for recreation. As our colonial world grows smaller, change blows across the globe as many nations begin to seek self-determination, aspiring a young Theodore Herzl. Wonder what he'll go on to do.
Yeah, I got your call, you guys. Got your call. Thank you, guys. And we continue on page 162 with the words of Vishamru, the words that remind us why we are here in this very room this evening, why it is such a mitzvah to celebrate Shabbat each and every week. And again, please, we invite you to sing along with us. Thank you to our clapping chorus. And with that, those same gentlemen whose hands you heard clapping together to bring that ruach are now going to be invited to the bima as our third series of speakers from our 6th grade. So it is my pleasure to invite up Max, Ethan, and Jack.
So much has changed in such a short amount of time. Jewish Americans began this century fleeing Europe, huddled on ships to the New York harbor, and in a span of 50 years, we've overcome tragedies of early industrialization like the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire and organized labor, and giving us the 40-hour work week.
For the first time, Jewish soldiers were instrumental in helping the U.S. Armed Forces win World War II, and our economy is booming with industry. Israel is now a thing, and for the first time in 2,000 years, Jewish people have their own self-determination. Israel defeated its enemies in the war for independence and is now being joined by Mizraim from all across the Middle East.
More locally, Jewish people are creating the entertainment industry in Hollywood, starting prosperous futures for many Jewish Americans heading west. Soon, America will head to space and bring many new opportunities for business and innovation. Nothing could be better.
Thank you, gentlemen. Great job. We're going to continue our service on page 164, which is the beginning of a section called Tefillah, the Amidah, the prayer, the centerpiece of the Jewish prayer service. And we are going to have some help this evening from our 6th graders who are going to help us with the first in the set of the prayers in the Amidah with the Avot and the Givurot. So we're going to invite our 6th graders to join us up in front of their own bima. We're going to be on page 164 as we invite everyone to please rise and join us as we begin our Amidah with the words of Adonai Tzifatai. Page 166. Ready, 6th grade? 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotzeinu ve'imotzeinu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imaot, Mebi Igula Livnei Bneihem, L'ma'an Shemo Yahava, Melech Ozer Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. Top of page 168. Remember, we are past the holiday of Pesach, so our second line that we are going to read is going to be that summer version, Morid Hatal. Ready? Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atah Rab Le'Hoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatzir Asurim, Umkaye Be'amunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umidom Elach, Melech Memit Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Antan L'chayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol. Page 170. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהרו חסנה. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Thank you, sixth graders. You guys can head back to your seats. You may all be seated. We reach a point in our service where we always spend a moment thinking of those that are in need of a little extra spirit, a little extra help, little extra healing of the mind, of the body, of the soul, of the spirit. So if there's anyone on your mind this evening, anyone for whom you would like to add to our Misha Berach, as I look around the room and my eyes meet yours, I would invite you to say their name out loud or in your heart so together we can say our words of blessing for them. Together with all those names said aloud and those names said in our heart, those names of our friends and family, those loved ones in Israel who we know are all in need of our extra blessings and prayers this Shabbat, we say together the words of healing, Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh HaCholim. We praise you, O God, the source of healing. Always at this time in our service, we take a few moments and leave the words on the page and look inward towards those blessings, those thoughts, those remnants of the week left behind that are inside all of us. And it has not been an easy week. It has not been an easy month. It has not been an easy last 7 months for those of us who are basking in the history that we learned today of the Jewish people in America. We have been engaged with the news more than some of us care to be, whether it's abroad in Israel, whether it's in our own backyards, whether it's the college campuses that we are watching, whether it's friends and family who are suffering alongside us, whether it's our allies, whether it's our friends for whom they don't know what to say to us. And so as we think about this Shabbat, we know we're not allowed to ask God for anything on Shabbat. It is a 25-hour period where we are left alone to just be thankful of what was given to us. So for everything that we could think about in this past week, everything that we could say, I wish I didn't have to do that, or I wish that was better, or I wish those things had improved for me. Instead, on Shabbat, we are told we can just show gratitude. So we pause for a few moments of silent prayer, of silent meditation, as we think about those things for which we can give thanks this week, those abundant blessings that all of us have in our lives for which we can be thankful. And for the week ahead, we can simply think about how wonderful it will be to be with friends and families, to be in this world, to breathe yet another breath of fresh air as we begin our 25-hour break from the rest of life and enjoy Shabbat. So we pause for a few moments of silent prayer and silent meditation. Page 179. join us. As we mentioned this evening, has been more than just a lesson in our Jewish history. This evening also commemorates Yom HaShoah, the day of Holocaust remembrance. As I mentioned before, you can see on our bima this evening is more than just our traditional Shabbat candles. And actually on Shabbat you are allowed to light as many candles as you would like to kindle in the light of Shabbat, as long as it is more than one. So we are fully within our authority this evening to light as many candles as we see fit. And so you will see this evening we have 6 yellow remembrance candles here on our bima for the 6 million Jews who lost their lives in the Holocaust. My father recently, who is not a very observant religious Jew, in fact, he calls himself a gastronomic Jew because he really loves the food. But he is not one that is, I would say, rooted in our tradition as much. And he brought to me this binder about this thick that was a family tree. One arm, one branch of our family tree. It was his grandmother's family tree. And someone, some far-off relative through Ancestry.com or whatever it might have been, had traced our roots back all the way to the Pale of Settlement. That side of our family comes from what is now Ukraine, what used to be, again, what we call the Pale of Settlement, the borders always changing from a small shtetl there. And the book that was this thick was filled of every relative that had branched off of his one great-grandparent, my great-great-grandparent. One single person filled an entire binder of people that were carrying on that legacy. It was a powerful moment for me to see that. And my mind immediately went to a night like tonight, a night where we think about 6 million, a number that is incomprehensible for us to really, truly appreciate. It is a staggering number. When we think about one person filling one binder full of descendants, what would have become of our people without 6 million not being able to see today? Would we still be in the perils we're facing here in the United States? Would there be an Israel? Would there be a strong Israel? Life and fate tend to make their own decisions about where they end up. But instead, we are shaped by all of those that have been left behind. Our identity is not defined by the Holocaust. We don't stand here today to ask for sympathy, to ask for sorrow, to paint a picture of a people who are stuck in mourning. Instead, we light these 6 candles this evening. We celebrate and commemorate Yom HaShoah every year to remind ourselves of everything every one of those 6 millions, the gifts they gave to this world and the gifts they have left behind to all of us, their descendants. They continue to shape who we are. They continue to give us hope that even in the most faceless horrors and evils, even in the things we are seeing today in our lives, those of us who can't believe we are living through a generation where we are seeing so much of the same reoccurring once again, the celebration of those lives, the commemoration of Yom HaShoah, the lighting of these candles gives us hope that this too shall pass. That we will fall back on our resolve and our hope that has survived us as a people for thousands of years, for millennia on millennia, and based on things like a generation of people coming up who are lecturing us on Jewish history. We should be so lucky to have that be our future generation. We should be so lucky to have a family, to have a celebration like Natalie's tomorrow, and 2 of her siblings who came before her, each of whom became a bar and bat mitzvah. We should be so lucky to have those sons and daughters of the commandments following in our footsteps. So while we think about the words of Yom HaShoah tonight, I would urge you not to think of them as mourning, but rather to think of them as hope. On page 521, you can see the words that start shaping our mindset for this moment. We begin with silence. As I light these yellow candles, I vow never to forget the lives of the Jewish men, women, and children who were symbolized by the flame. They were tortured, they were brutalized, they were made to feel inhumane, their lives taken cruelly. May we be inspired to learn more about the 6 million brothers and sisters, as individuals and as communities, and to recall their memories not just now, but throughout the year. May we recall not only their deaths, but also the splendor of their lives. May the memory of their lives inspire us to hallow our own lives, to live meaningful Jewish lives, that we may help to ensure that part of who they are shall echo through us always. You'll notice on our bima, beyond the 6 yellow candles symbolizing Yom HaShoah, we have one large blue candle. Because on this Yom HaShoah, not only do we think about the 6 million who perished years ago, but we think about those who perished days ago. We think about those in Israel who suffered the worst violence we've seen on Jewish communities since the Holocaust. We think about all those victims of October 7th this evening as well. It is not just their memory that lives on in vain, but it is our charge to take their memories forward to future generations to ensure that they too live on as echoes through our memories. I found these words today as I was thinking about this evening, again, about the time in which we find ourselves, and I borrow them from Noah Feldman from a Time magazine article that was entitled "The New Anti-Semitism." And he said, "Anti-Semitism has managed to reinvent itself multiple times throughout history, each time keeping some of the old tropes around while simultaneously creating new ones adapted to present circumstances. In each new iteration, anti-Semitism reflects the ideological preoccupations of the moment. In anti-Semitic discourse, Jews are always made to exemplify what a given group of people considers to be the worst feature of the social order in which they live. And yet, to that, I would tell you that moments like tonight with our sixth graders, with Natalie and her family, with all the vibrancy we have here, with our incredible sisterhood who brought people into our building this evening, all of that paints a very different picture of us combating anti-Semitism, not through counter-protests, and not through angry letters, and not through fuming in our homes, but rather, as I've been saying since October 8th, by doing Jewish. By coming to shul on Friday night, by wearing your Jewish stars proud, livrut, by eating Jewish food, by singing Jewish songs, by visiting Israel, by doing everything that we do to be proud of the people for whom we are. And again, it is on the shoulders of those today that we stand with the power to be able to do that. So as we think about their memories, as we make sure that not another year goes by where they are forgotten, we invite everyone to please rise to join with us on page 530 for the words of the El Melech Rachamim, the remembrance prayer of us sending all of our spirits to all of those who have come before us. El Melech Rachamim shochen baromim chamseh menucha nechona tachet kanfei השכינה מלא קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מצילים את נשמת 6 מיליון אחנו וחתוננו שוחררו על קידוש השם בעל הרחמים יסתרים בסדר כנפיו לעולמים לסתור בצור החיים את נשמתם אדוני הוא נחלתם ותנוח בשלום על משכבם ונאמר Amen. Fully compassionate God on high, to our 6 million brothers and sisters murdered because they were Jews, grant clear and certain rest with you in the lofty heights of the sacred and pure, whose brightness shines like the very glow of heaven. Together, source of mercy, forever enfold them in your embrace of your wings, secure their souls in eternity. Adonai, they are yours. They will rest in peace. Amen. Page 532 brings us the words of the Kaddish. You'll see page 533 has an alternate Kaddish as well, one that makes us think about all of our memories, those names that pop off the page for us. It is this time in our service where we think about those who are no longer in our midst, those who are with us deep within our hearts and souls. This week we remember the art sites of Janet Fand, of Florence Gomat, of Rose Held, Iris Levine, Herman Levy, Kalman Lifson, Regina Ostry, and Stephen Scharf. And we remember those taken from us in most recent days: Norman Heller, father of Jordan Heller, Estelle Krieger, mother of Alan Krieger, Constance Novak, mother of Greg Novak, Al Berlin, husband of Dolores Berlin and mother of David Berlin, Gilda Barrison, mother of Adam Barrison, and Ada Bender, mother of Joel Bender. If there is anyone else with us here this evening who is remembering a yard site or simply remembering someone in their hearts this evening, I invite you to share their name out loud or in your heart. Together with all those names that were said deep inside of us, we add the names of the soldiers of the American Armed Forces and the Israel Defense Force, those who have bravely given their lives in defense of our safety, our security, and our freedom. With them, with those in our midst, and with the 6 million memories on our mind, together we join together in the words of the Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 532. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmad divrach yiratei v'yalmich b'achutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dekol beit Yisrael, b'adala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'alam al mei armaya, yitbarach v'yishtapach v'pa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnasei, v'yitadar v'yitalel v'yitalal shmei dekudisha b'reichu, le'ila minko birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, Ta'amiran biyama ve'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mrama. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. You may all be seated. Even on moments like this evening, even in moments where our minds might be heavy, we never leave on a sad note into Shabbat. Instead, we relish in what an incredible evening it has been in learning from our sixth graders, in getting to celebrate an incredible simcha tomorrow, and we wish a mazel tov to Natalie and her entire family on what we know is going to be a beautiful day tomorrow. We hope you will join us again in the coming weeks. Next week, as we mentioned, is our third grade service, where our third graders will officially get their own bar and bat mitzvah dates. You can imagine Natalie being right back there 4 years ago, right? Could not imagine this day was ever going to come. It is also going to be our celebration of Yom Ha'atzmaut, of Israeli Independence Day. So we invite you back next week to celebrate in style with a raucous celebration of Israel and a delicious oneg after that. Of course, this Sunday is the final day of J School of the year, so we hope everyone will be there at 9 o'clock to join us for an incredible closing day's worth of program. Wear blue and white for the last day of J School. And not to be stood up by anything, tomorrow evening is a true milestone moment in the history of our congregation. Tomorrow evening, over 100 of us will be gathering here at the synagogue to celebrate the Shehechianu moment of the synagogue paying off its mortgage and financial liberation. So we will celebrate tomorrow evening at 7:30. If you did not RSVP yet and you want to join us, do not worry. I give you full rabbinic dispensation to go online tonight and register through the website and join us at 7:30 tomorrow evening for dessert, for drinks, and for an incredible celebration with dueling pianos. So a performance by two members of the Flying Ivories to be able to lead us in song. And in the middle of their celebration, we're going to stop for our intermission and quite literally burn the mortgage on the balcony of the Wishnia Hall. So it is going to be a truly wonderful evening. We hope all of you will join us. If you are not already planning to, like I said, feel free to register and join us tomorrow evening. A huge thank you to our sixth graders. A huge thank you to John Bowen, our piano accompanist, and of course to our incredible song leader, to Kylie Rapp, for all of her music, her voice, and all of her ruach and spirit as well. I believe our sixth graders are going to help us sing one final closing song. So sixth graders, if I may, come on up one last time. You can leave your books where you are. The words are Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, and then two claps. You can't forget the two claps. Od Yavo Shalom. And then we sing the word Salam, the word for peace in Arabic. So we invite you to join along with us, with our sixth graders, as we sing Od Yavo Shalom. Ready? Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam, Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, Salam, Salam, Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, Salam, Salam. So sixth graders, you stay up here. We're going to invite Natalie to come on up with us one more time. And I see a couple kids in the congregation. You don't have to. You're good. You can stay there. Sixth graders, you can all magically unfurl your challah covers as if you are magicians in your own right. Look at that. Magically making challah loaves appear. And we have Natalie's loaf over here. So Natalie is going to lead us in the motzi as we get ready to enjoy a delicious oneg right outside afterwards. Sixth graders, you guys are going to help us sing the motzi as well. Ready? Baruch Adonai Eloheinu Yasher Koach, B'tei Avon, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you all. We invite you to join us outside in the atrium for a delicious Oneg celebration. Shabbat Shalom.
I keep these so you
Yasher Koach, you guys.
What's out to like? Pizza, bread, cheese, sauce.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I think like most are in the first part of June, right?
Yeah.
Done, like, right before
Because
Moses.
my school's not out, but I have 2 weeks of just like, I'm used to signing up for different programs. The one basically just designing the product.
Oh, cool.
Like, most of the time people just mess around with it.
Yeah.
Because you can really just do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there was like 6 or 7 guys, so I started like, actually like, the year after, that was
You did that? That's crazy.
And it's like I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like dropping out of public high school.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you drop out, you know what I mean?
Wow, that's crazy.
And I mean, I already have the car. I mean, that's like,
Where you doing? Okay, all right.
I mean, you get it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, habits like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. So you actually go for it? Actually,
Well, I mean, most of the time, no. But you think it's not? Well, it's just not really. But just the idea of
amazing. What industry?
it's a mix.
Welcome back, John. It's not the same.
Two hugely open spaces. That's really cool.
When you and Kylie are here, it's awesome.
Like,
Isn't she? She's great. She's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
like I had someone ask me, my sister, how it those were just
That's the test answer here, right?
I was like, that's when I decided.
That's really
That
cool.
poster was
So you'll be here tomorrow?
yeah,
Good.
this could actually.
When you can, when you can release it, you have to send me a note and tell me what it is. That's so cool. I didn't know. I mean, I know people talk about like independence. Hey, Herbs, did you turn the webcast off?